The Power of Focus, a story on increasing concentration. Once upon a time, in a small village, nestled between green hills, lived a young boy named Arjun. Arjun was bright and full of potential, but he struggled with concentration. Every time he sat down to study, his mind wandered to the sound of birds chirping, the children playing outside, or the next adventure he wanted to embark on. His inability to focus led him to fall behind in school, and he often felt frustrated with himself. One day, Arjun met an old, wise man named Guruji, who had spent years studying the art of concentration and mindfulness. Guruji was known for his exceptional ability to focus on anything he set his mind to. If he was reading a book, nothing could distract him. If he was meditating, his mind was as still as a calm lake. Impressed by Guruji's discipline, Arjun approached him one evening and said, "Guruji, how do you manage to focus so well on everything you do? My mind is always jumping from one thought to another. Please teach me how to concentrate." Guruji smiled and agreed to help. He told Arjun, "Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But first that you must understand the value of concentration and the distractions that prevent it." He then gave Arjun a simple task. "Tomorrow morning, I want you to sit under the big banyan tree by the river and look at the flowing water. Don't do anything else. Just watch the water for an hour, without moving or thinking about anything else." The next morning, Arjun excitedly ran to the riverbank and sat under the tree. For the first few minutes, he felt peaceful watching the river flow. But soon, his mind began to wander. He thought about the game he wanted to play later, the snack his mother would prepare, and the friends who were probably waiting for him. He tried to refocus, but after 10 minutes, he stood up in frustration. "This is impossible," he thought. In the evening, Arjun went back to Guruji and confessed, "I couldn't concentrate, Guruji. My mind kept wandering, and I couldn't sit still for even an hour." Guruji smiled knowingly and said, "That's because your mind is not trained yet. Let me tell you a story. There once was a great archer, named Eklavya. He had no teacher to guide him, but he was determined to learn the art of archery. Every day, Eklavya practiced diligently, imagining his focus as sharp as an arrow. One day, while practicing in the forest, he was approached by a group of hunters. They laughed at him for practicing alone, without a guru, but Eklavya remained undeterred. He set up a target, in the form of a small bird, perched on a distant tree branch, and said, "I'll show you the power of focus." He pulled back his bowstring, and before releasing the arrow, someone asked him, "What do you see?" Eklavya replied, "I see only the eye of the bird." The others were puzzled. "You don't see the bird, the tree, or the branch?" they asked. But Eklavya shook his head. "No. I see only the eye of the bird." With that, he released the arrow, and it struck the bird's eye. With perfect precision, Eklavya's single-minded focus allowed him to master the art of archery without distraction. Guruji looked at Arjun and said, "Just like Eklavya, when you focus on something, you must eliminate all other distractions. If your mind is wandering to 100 different things, you cannot hit your target." Arjun thought about the story and realized that his mind was too scattered. He needed to train it slowly, just like a muscle, and develop the ability to block out distractions. He asked, "But how do I start, Guruji? How do I make my mind as focused as Eklavya's?" Guruji explained, "First, break your task into smaller and more manageable parts. Don't try to concentrate for an hour at once. Start with just 5 minutes. During those 5 minutes, dedicate your full attention to one thing. Whether it's reading, solving a problem, or simply breathing. Do it with complete focus. As you practice, you will find it easier to stretch your concentration to longer periods." He continued, "Second one is, limit distractions around you. Choose a quiet place to work or study. Turn off your phone, step away from anything that might pull your attention away. Focus comes not just from within, but also from the environment you create." Arjun nodded, and decided to follow Guruji's advice. He started by setting a aside 5 minutes every morning to practice mindfulness. He would sit under the banyan tree, close his eyes, and focus only on his breath. At first, his mind wandered just as before. But slowly, he began to notice that his thoughts would return more quickly to his breath. As the days passed, he was able to sit for 10, then 15 minutes, without getting distracted. In addition to mindfulness, Arjun applied his concentration practice to his studies. He created a study schedule where he focused on one subject at a time, for short intervals, gradually increasing the time as he improved. When studying, he would remove any distractions from his desk and remind himself of Eklavya's story, focusing only on the eye of the bird or the task in front of him. Weeks later, Arjun began to notice significant changes. His mind no longer wandered aimlessly during study sessions, and he was able to complete his work more efficiently. His grades improved, and his teachers remarked on how much more attentive he had become in class. One day, Arjun went back to Guruji and thanked him. "Your lessons have transformed my life, Guruji. I can concentrate better now, and I feel more in control of my mind." Guruji smiled and said, "Remember Arjun, focus is not something you achieve once and for all. It is a practice, something you must nurture every day. Life will always throw distractions your way, but with patience and dedication, you will be able to train your mind to remain calm and focused, just like the river you watched on that first day." From that day forward, Arjun continued to strengthen his focus. Whether it was during his studies, while playing sports, or when spending time with his family, he learned to be present in the moment, fully engaged and aware. Through his persistence and commitment, Arjun mastered the art of concentration, just like Eklavya had mastered archery. Moral of the story: concentration is not something we are born with, but a skill we can cultivate through practice, discipline, and mindfulness. By eliminating distractions, breaking tasks into smaller parts, and focusing on one thing at a time, anyone can sharpen their mind and achieve their goals.